If I handed you an old plastic laundry basket and told you it could grow enough potatoes to feed your family for weeks, you'd probably laugh. But right now, while food prices keep climbing and traditional gardens struggle through the summer heat, thousands of gardeners are quietly replacing expensive raised beds with something most people already have sitting in their laundry room. And here's the shocking part. Many first-time growers harvest more potatoes from one laundry basket than they ever managed growing them in the ground, but only if they avoid one mistake almost everyone makes. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why laundry baskets outperform most containers, how to dramatically increase your harvest in almost no space at all, the survival gardening trick that makes harvesting effortless instead of backbreaking, and the one planting mistake that quietly ruins most container potato crops before they ever get started. Food prices aren't slowing down, and a lot of backyards are too small, too shaded, or too dry this time of year for a traditional garden bed. Apartment balconies, tiny patios, even a corner of a garage floor can all become productive growing space with this method. Self-sufficiency doesn't require acres of land. It requires a basket, some soil, and knowing exactly what you're doing, which is exactly where we start. Step 1. Choosing the perfect laundry basket starts with size. You want something at least 15 to 20 gallons in capacity, roughly the size of a standard large laundry hamper, because potatoes need room both to spread sideways and to be buried deeper as they grow. Plastic baskets with lots of small holes are ideal. Woven baskets work too, but plastic gives you more control over moisture retention in hot, dry weeks. The holes matter more than people think. Potatoes rot fast in standing water, so drainage has to be aggressive. Not just a few holes in the bottom, but holes running up the sides as well. Once you've got the right basket in the right spot, everything comes down to what you fill it with, and that's where most people get it wrong before they've even planted anything. Step 2. Choosing seed potatoes is where a lot of first-time growers lose the game before they start. Certified seed potatoes, sold specifically for planting, are treated to be disease-free and bred to sprout reliably. Grocery store potatoes are a gamble. Many are treated with a sprout inhibitor specifically so they don't grow eyes on your kitchen counter, which means they can sit in soil for weeks doing absolutely nothing. If you do use grocery potatoes, look for organic ones, since they're less likely to be chemically treated, but certified seed potatoes will always outperform them. Before planting, chit your potatoes. That means setting them in a bright, cool spot for 1 to 2 weeks until short, firm sprouts, about ½ an inch long, appear on the surface. This head start can shave weeks off your total growing time and gives you a visible sign the potato is alive and ready. Choose varieties suited to containers. Yukon Gold, Red Pontiac, and fingerling varieties all perform exceptionally well in confined spaces because they don't need as much lateral room as some of the larger russet types. Avoid any seed potato with soft spots, dark patches, or a strong odor. That's a sign of disease that can spread through your entire basket. Once your seed potatoes are chitted and ready, it's time to talk about what they're actually going to grow in, because this next part is where almost everyone loses half their harvest. Step 3. Building the perfect soil is not the same as using what's already in your backyard. Garden soil compacts inside a container, and potatoes hate compacted soil more than almost anything else. Dense soil blocks the tubers from expanding, leading to small, misshapen potatoes instead of the big, smooth ones you're picturing. The mix you want is roughly 1 part quality compost, 1 part potting mix, and 1 part coconut coir or perlite for drainage and aeration. This combination stays loose and light even after repeated watering, which lets developing tubers push outward freely instead of fighting through dense clay or packed dirt. Mix in a slow-release organic fertilizer formulated for root vegetables before planting. Potatoes are heavy feeders, and starting with nutrient-rich soil sets the entire crop up for a stronger first month of growth. This is where almost everyone loses half their harvest without realizing it. They fill the basket with plain garden dirt, wonder why growth stalls, and never connect it back to the soil. Loose, rich, well-draining soil is non-negotiable, and once you've got it mixed and ready, we can finally get these seed potatoes into the ground. Step 4. Planting correctly starts with only filling the basket about 1/3 full of soil to begin with. This matters enormously for what comes later, so don't be tempted to fill it all the way up now. Place your chitted seed potatoes on top of that first layer of soil with the sprouts facing upward, spaced about 8 to 10 inches apart around the basket. Cover them with 3 to 4 inches of soil, just enough to bury them completely without packing it down. Water thoroughly right after planting, enough that moisture reaches the bottom of the basket without leaving standing water. Then leave it alone. Don't add more soil yet. Don't check on it every few hours. Potatoes need a quiet, undisturbed week or two to develop their first sprouts and root system before anything else happens. What happens next is the part that completely changes your total harvest, and it's the step most container gardeners either skip or get wrong. Step 5. The secret that doubles harvests is called hilling, and it's the single most important technique in this entire method. Potatoes don't form at the base of the plant. They form along the buried portion of the stem, which means the more stem you bury throughout the season, the more potatoes you grow. As soon as your plants reach about 6 to 8 inches tall, add another 3 to 4 inches of your soil mix, burying most of the plant and leaving just the top leaves exposed. The plant will keep growing upward, and when it reaches 6 to 8 inches again, you repeat the process. Keep layering soil every time the plant regrows to that height until the basket is completely full, right up near the rim. Each layer you add becomes another zone along the buried stem where new potatoes can form. A plant grown in the ground might only produce potatoes in one shallow layer. A plant grown this way in a laundry basket can produce potatoes in 3 or 4 stacked layers, which is exactly why so many first-time growers are shocked by their final numbers. Timing matters here. Don't rush the layers before the plant has actually reached that 6 to 8 inch mark. And don't wait so long that the stem gets floppy and starts leaning. Consistent, well-timed hilling is what separates an average harvest from an enormous one. And once your basket is finally full to the top, the plant takes over from there, which means it's time to talk about keeping it alive through the heat of summer. Step 6. Watering and feeding through the growing season comes down to consistency. Potatoes in containers dry out faster than potatoes in the ground because there's simply less surrounding soil holding onto moisture. Check the top 2 inches of soil daily during hot weeks and water whenever it feels dry to the touch. Overwatering is just as damaging as underwatering, though. You're aiming for consistently moist, never soggy. If water is pooling on the surface or draining slowly, ease back. Feed every 2 to 3 weeks with a fertilizer higher in potassium than nitrogen. Potassium supports tuber development directly, while too much nitrogen pushes the plant into producing lush green leaves at the expense of the potatoes themselves, which is a mistake we're going to cover in more detail in a moment. During extreme summer heat, potato plants can show heat stress through wilting leaves in the early afternoon. A little afternoon shade, even from a nearby umbrella or shade cloth, can prevent that stress from slowing tuber development. Keep the watering and feeding rhythm steady, and the plant will keep quietly building your harvest underground where you can't even see it happening yet. Step 7. The biggest mistakes container potato growers make almost always come down to one of 6 things, and this is where almost everyone loses half their harvest without ever figuring out why. Tiny containers restrict root development and tuber size from the very beginning, which is why the 15 to 20 gallon minimum matters so much. Poor drainage leads to root rot, turning healthy white roots black and mushy within days, usually after a week of heavy rain or overwatering. Too much nitrogen produces gorgeous, oversized green foliage with almost nothing happening underground. a frustrating trap for gardeners who assume a lush-looking plant equals a big harvest. Overwatering causes yellowing leaves and a sour smell in the soil, while underwatering causes small, tough, misshapen potatoes and premature wilting. And green potatoes, caused by sunlight reaching tubers too close to the surface, produce a bitter, mildly toxic compound called solanine, which is exactly why consistent hilling to keep every tuber buried matters as much for safety as it does for yield. Catch any of these symptoms early, and the fix is almost always simple. Adjust watering, add more hilling soil, cut back on nitrogen-heavy feeding, or improve drainage. Miss them. And you'll find out the hard way on harvest day, which, if you've been following along, is coming up faster than you think. Step 8. Knowing exactly when to harvest depends on what kind of potatoes you're after. Once the plants begin flowering, usually 8 to 10 weeks after planting, you can reach in gently along the edge of the soil and pull a few small new potatoes, thin-skinned and incredibly tender, perfect for an immediate meal without disturbing the rest of the crop. For the full, mature harvest, wait until the foliage turns yellow and begins dying back, typically 10 to 16 weeks after planting depending on your variety. This is the plant's own signal that it has finished directing energy into the tubers below and they're ready to be stored. Once the foliage is fully yellowed and mostly collapsed, stop watering for about a week. This toughens the potato skins, which dramatically improves how well they store afterward. Months in a cool, dark space, while thin-skinned ones need to be eaten within a week or two. Everything up to this point has been building toward one single moment. And it's finally here. Step 9. Harvest reveal is where all that layered hilling pays off in a way that traditional in-ground digging never can. Instead of digging blindly through packed earth and risking slicing potatoes in half with a shovel, you simply tip the entire laundry basket over onto a tarp. The loose soil mix falls away almost instantly, and potatoes spill out in layer after layer, exactly where each round of hilling created them. Large mature potatoes near the bottom, medium ones stacked through the middle, and smaller new potatoes near the top, all in one dramatic pour instead of an hour of careful digging. This is genuinely one of the most satisfying moments in home gardening. And it's the exact payoff that has made this method spread so quickly among first-time growers. A single well-managed basket can realistically produce somewhere between 10 and 25 pounds of potatoes, depending on variety, season length, and how consistently you hilled throughout the summer. Once you've collected your harvest, the basket itself isn't done. Rinse it out, let it dry, and it's ready to be refilled and reused for next season's crop. Which means your entire setup cost was a fraction of what any raised bed would have run you. You don't need expensive raised beds or acres of land to grow meaningful amounts of food. Sometimes the most productive garden begins with something people normally throw into the laundry room. If you found this survival gardening trick helpful, you'll definitely want to watch my next video, where I reveal another simple container method that produces an even bigger harvest using something almost everyone already owns. Have you ever tried growing potatoes in containers? Let me know where you're watching from. Would you try this laundry basket method over traditional planting? And after everything you just learned, how many pounds do you think one basket could actually produce? Drop your guess in the comments. Like this video if it changed how you think about small space gardening. Subscribe if you want more practical survival gardening methods like this one. And leave a comment with any questions before you head out to find yourself a laundry basket. Until next time, happy gardening, and may every harvest be your biggest yet.